Hello everyone, welcome to inSis tutorial videos. In today's video, we'll discuss about local and aggregate historians in inSis. Let's get started. Local historian and aggregate historian are important component of inSis that help us store and analyze the data. Let's start with local historian. A local historian is a database that stores the data locally on a device. It is typically used to store real-time data from multiple data sources in a specific location. The real-time data is stored in the form of flat files and it is highly encrypted. The local historian allows us to collect and store the data at very high frequency and providing us with the detailed information about what is happening in the real time. We can use this data for analysis, troubleshooting, or monitoring purpose. We can even use this data for performing complex calculation. Now let's move on aggregate historian. An aggregate historian is a database that stores aggregated data such as value, average, maximum, and minimum. It collects data from local historian and calculates statistical or summary information. Aggregate is calculated and stored for 15-minute and 1-hour data. Aggregate historian uses after metric and store the values with before timestamp.
Now let's open inSis administrator homepage. Click on system view and go to data queue. The data is retrieved from the data sources like DCS, PLC, SCADA or any existing historian and then transferred to the core system from the data source interface. The core system utilizes the real-time values and calculates the average, maximum and minimum of these values. It then stores this calculated data into both local and aggregate databases. In the local historian, the data is stored in the form of value, quality, and time. And in aggregate historian, the data is stored with the timestamp, quality, and all the metric values. Now let's go to the System Explorer page. On the left side of the page, under the object browser, there are different options. We'll expand the historian option. There we can find the local historian and aggregate historian and external historians. If you click on local option, on the right side we can see details about the history database files. At the top ribbon, there are options to start or stop the historian and move to the scan the database files and move to the next database file. When we click on the move to the next option, it closes the current history file and start with a new one. We can see the location where all the history files are stored locally. The name of the current history database file and its maximum size in MB. At the bottom, we can see last historized tag count and the time of last historization. Similar options are available for aggregate historian also. To configure an external historian, we can click on new historian. We need to assign a name specific of type and to choose the gateway through which the data will be fetched and click on save button. Once you save it, the newly created historian will appear under the historian section. Now the external historian is ready to use. Whenever historical data is needed, it will be retrieved from the external historian through the gateway that was configured. There is also a global option available to disable data processing specifically for external historian. And that concludes our video on local and aggregate historian in inSis. I hope you found this video helpful. That's all for now. We'll see you in the next video. For more information on the various features of inSis, be sure to explore our other videos on YouTube. Thanks for watching.